Alright, hi, my name is Jessica, and today I'm going to help you guys out with number 1 on modified module number 27. So we are going to be classifying each of the following processes as spontaneous or non-spontaneous. So for part A, we have H2O or water that is in liquid form going into water as a gas form. It is at 40 degrees Celsius and it is in a vessel that is open to the atmosphere with 50% relative humidity. So going through this type of problem, I just kind of try to use common sense with certain things. So thinking through it going from a liquid to a gas, we know that heat needs to be added for it to make that change. So we also know that room temperature is considered 25 degrees Celsius and boiling temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. So somewhere in between there is going to be that perfect spot for water to be able to turn into gas. So if you have this water that's at 40 degrees Celsius and you also have it in a vessel that's open to the atmosphere, that's going to make it so that it's a lot easier for it to evaporate, especially if we have air that has room for it. So this air, it says, is 50% relative humidity in the atmosphere. If it was 100%, that would mean that our air in the atmosphere is fully saturated already with water, so it would be not possible for it to evaporate out of that container. But since we do have 50% of the room still left, and it's at that temperature in between room temperature and boiling, it is definitely going to evaporate. Just think of setting a cup of water on a counter inside of your home. That's what's going to happen. So this would definitely be a spontaneous process. And that is the answer for part A. Alright, so for part B, we're basically going to be using a similar logic. We have water in liquid form going to water in a solid form. It's at 25 degrees Celsius and the pressure is 1 atm. So, as we noted earlier, 25 degrees Celsius is room temperature, and if you remember from class, the normal pressure is 1 atm. So since it is at that normal pressure and temperature, it's going to do what it would normally do at that temperature. So we have water being in liquid form, and at room temperature it is in liquid form. Again, think of setting a cup of water out in your house. It's not going to suddenly turn into an ice cube when you set it on the counter. So this would definitely be a non-spontaneous process. And that's our answer for this one. Okay, so for part C, we have the combustion of propane. So propane is a byproduct of natural gas. So if you think of either of those things, you think of them as being very flammable. So something like propane, it's going to combust very easily. So this will always be spontaneous because it is entropically favored, and it will also be spontaneous at all temperatures. So for this process, that means it is going to be spontaneous. And that is our answer. Alright, so for our final part, part D, we are looking at obtaining urea from nitrogen and hydrogen gases. So in this case, I went ahead and decided to just look at the formula. So the formula of urea is CH4N2O. And I noticed that there's only nitrogen and hydrogen gases present, so where's this carbon and oxygen coming from? So even if you say, okay, it's in an open container, somehow it comes from the atmosphere, well, let's also look at the fact that we're going from 2 reactants to 1 product. That's just not going to happen spontaneously, so that means that this is going to be a non-spontaneous reaction. So our final answer is non-spontaneous. I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and good luck!